Okay, hi everyone. I am Kirtika and I am part of the Aarohi team, which is looking after and conceptualizing CoVersity. I'm very excited for this topic today and to see how the discussion unfolds.
Okay, so I think we can get going and more people can introduce as and when they feel comfortable, right? We have a good number already. So I'm Ratnesh. I have two children. My daughter is 25. My son is nearing 19. And yeah, and I've worked with obviously a lot of families as part of Aarohi over the last 15, 16 years. So yeah, as we go along, I can share stories relevant to the topic today. Okay. Okay, so I think we can start. I'm trying to put it live, but I think there is some issue. It's not going live. Okay, no problem. Let me, I've started the recording, so that's fine. Okay. Okay, I will also use a little presentation, which is like an empty presentation, just to make notes. So I'll be the kind of a note keeper. This would be what people are sharing, but obviously, if anybody else also wants to make notes and later on share, because I need not be very perfect in taking the notes, so you're most welcome. Yeah, so I hope you can see. Just one moment, let me see my slide. Right, so the debate is around certification. Are they required, not required, and so on. So just to kind of not really set the context, but just to kind of clarify, in our, I'll put it this way, in our country, or maybe in the world also, but definitely let's leave it to our country. There are some fields which mandatorily do require certification. So I just want to have a quick list of that, if you can think of fields which definitely require, because we need not bring them into the debate, because there's no debate about it. It's legally required in certain fields. For example, I know for sure if you want to fly an aeroplane as a pilot for commercial reasons, you do require a certification, right? So I can write pilot as one of them. So let me start with that. So the reason I'm putting this list is then we can put this list aside and just focus on the rest of it. There's no need to debate on this list. At least that's how I look at it. So if you are okay, yeah, you can share.
People feel doctor.
Okay, doctor. Yeah. Somebody's saying lawyer. Okay. Yeah. Defense.
Government services.
Yeah, defense/government services. Sure.
Teacher? School teacher? Do you require a B.Ed or something for that?
School teacher, yes. So let's put it specifically. So teacher, I'm not sure, but school teacher, yes. So school, college teacher, yes. Engineer.
Architect.
I'll put a little question mark on engineer because that's a very broad term. For example, for coding or even for being a project manager, I don't necessarily need to be an engineer. I don't need to have a degree. So when you say engineer, yeah, maybe in certain specific engineering fields, you do require. So I'm not denying that. That's why I put a little, okay, asterisk, let me put, not question mark. Yeah. Yes, Anantya. We'll come to that. That's why I did not write medical field, because I think medical field itself is very, very vast, including healers and this and that, a lot of fields. So we'll come to. So I put it specifically doctor, as in the doctor, DR doctor. Yeah. Any other field? People think.
Architecture, I feel, not the mainstream, but the natural building or I mean, I've seen people who learn from, they're not necessarily part of the mainstream architecture, but
Sure.
so I don't know. I think there should be
Right.
asterisks for that.
Okay, so as an architect, you require to be an architect, you require, but to be a builder, you don't need requirement. So that's an interesting one. So just like the doctor, you can be in medical services, but to be a doctor, yeah. So we can. Sorry?
Accounting, chartered accountant, things like that.
Okay, CA and
Yes,
CS.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Clinical psychology also comes
So will
in
that be part of doctor?
doctors only. Yeah.
Okay, so I put that under that doctor. Any other field? Somebody's saying recognition for researchers in terms of publication as authors. I'm not sure, Tangraj, that it's required. You can always publish a research paper without having a degree in that field. It is not that you will not be allowed to publish a research paper, though it will go as you are not a PhD in that field.
Along with pilot, probably something like merchant navy. Same category.
Yeah, okay, maybe, yeah, to sail a ship, yeah. Okay, we don't need to spend too much time on this, but we do realize it's still under 10. It's among the possible 10,000 maybe vocations that are available. We're talking about 10 that requires certification, which is fair enough. And if anything else comes to us in our mind, we will come back and write more in this slide, right? Yeah, you may say that, yes, you have clubbed many by putting, let's say, all government services. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. So to that extent, yes, I agree. Okay, so let's just shoot on with the debate. So as I said, I'm just keeping it very, very open. One side is not required. One side is saying, no, it's required or is in favor. Let me maybe, so I put it that in favor or not required, if that is okay with you all. Just a random nomenclature. So we can start sharing whatever are your views. And two things we have to keep in mind. We're talking about today's time, not when we were, let's say, out of school or college, which was, let's say, 25 years back or 40 years back, depending on your age. And we are also talking about we are also keeping in mind the trends in which the industry, the world, even the education, even the government is. So we have to keep all of those also in mind. And just kind of setting the context. But yeah, you can share examples from your past also, no issues. So please go ahead, please share whatever are your thoughts. Somebody can make few opening statements. If nothing else, you can say, I am in favor or not in favor, or I think this way, or I would like to think this way, though I don't act that way, whichever way. So even that is good enough.
Not required.
I would prefer that
I would like to add.
it's not required even for the list of things that we put up there in the previous slide, where you could probably learn more from apprenticeships than learn a lot of theoretical stuff, which you never quite get use or even need in your chosen field.
Okay. Anand wants to add certification for parent and politician. Right. Yeah, but as of now, not
The most
required.
important that we all need.
Uh,
Keeping in mind the current scenario, we all need this kind of, at least this one.
so your voice was
Else
little
it goes
breaking for
down.
me. I'm not able to follow the conversation. Can you repeat, please? But it's a little breaking for me, at least.
Hello. Uh, yeah, is it audible now, sir?
Yeah, much better.
Okay, sir, I was saying that I will go with Anand, sir, that we need this certificate the most at current situation. Other things we can do without certification. We need a certificate in parenting, especially.
Sure, sure. Yeah, Yogi is saying, can we analyze this? Yogi, you can start the discussion. Just share what you start the topic, and I'm sure people will pick it up.
Yeah, farming. For farming, you don't need certificate.
Yeah, say a little more.
At this point, for most jobs where you go and get a job from a different company or something, I think they tend to use a degree as a substitute for actually figuring out if you know how to do the basics of that job. So in that sense, having a degree, probably even outside of these things, is helpful.
No,
Have I put
I
it
can get
correctly? Your
Ratnesh?
point? Is it more to do with the entry point that you are
Yes, it's
talking
for the
about?
entry point.
Yeah, okay, fair
Have
enough.
some experience in that field, they probably just look at your actual experience rather than your the degree with which you graduated.
Sure, sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
now there are okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just wanted to, Ratnesh, I just wanted to ask this question. Like before we go into perhaps in favor and not required, what exactly certification is doing? Like why are they there? You know, for example, certifications, if we consider them for, let's say, kind of ISO certifications, they are for the industry. So they are basically telling that certain processes are following certain standards. That is how concept of certifications is used when we are using it for non-human entities. Okay, now
Yeah.
coming to the human entities, which is us, then we have a certification. Now, ideally, the right intent of that should be to kind of make people capable of doing the jobs for or kind of work which is intended. But perhaps that is not happening. But that's a different story. Why it is not happening? What I'm trying to kind of ask myself and ask others who can provide a better input, like what is really certification and what it is really doing for us.
Sure, sure.
I
So
think it makes for companies interviewing fresh graduates, I think it's like an easy, simple way to say, okay, this person probably knows various things and can do the job. They do have their own interview, but that's more from the company's perspective. Easy filtering. Whether it actually is correct or not, it's a different issue, but that's
Yeah, correct. You are right. So we are not talking whether it is correct or not. That's what I said, because that's a totally different debate. We might keep on talking about that. But I think the certification in itself has that kind of purpose to fulfill within the system.
yeah.
Can I say something? I have 2 points. Like where what I'm understanding is what Krishna sir is trying to say, that its certificates are maybe a entry point for the companies, or like filtering graduates or undergrad, oh, sorry, the postgraduates or something. But here again, if you see, there are so many companies are coming up. Even if the candidate doesn't have any certificate, they're going by the skills. They're seeing what the person is good into it, because what are companies looking at? Even after having certificates, sometimes these certificates are not serving the purpose, what the X job needs, what the profile of the job needs. Technically, maybe it's on the paper, but when it comes on the practical, the candidate is not able to do it. So right now there is an entire, circle which the companies are also taking it. They're going by choosing the candidates who have skill, may not be having the certificates to prove their skill, but they have a knowledge when it comes to the perform practically on the field. So I feel that is also opening up. May not be many companies, but yes, there are some fields which are opening up and taking up the candidates even without the certificates, who have the knowledge in a practical way, not on the papers.
Yeah, I agree with you on that point that there are companies. In fact, like I think IBM was one of the well-known who published that news that they are interested. So I'm not denying that. That is very correct. But I think like what I'm trying to understand and trying to point out is certifications are there for a purpose. Like that purpose itself was to basically kind of give an accreditation to those individuals by saying that they have learned a certain amount of coursework, which we call syllabus and all that way, which is there as requirement for the industry or for the future, like, what they want to do. So what I'm trying to get at, if that is the need of certification, right, then think of it this way, because my own son is also doing open learning. But when entire system is going around in this manner, how I am going to actually bring those kind of skills without the certificate should be also one of the questions in my mind, is what I think. That is why I'm discussing.
Sure.
Yeah, I just want to share my experience for not required, as I come from an agriculture background. See, today if we talk about the food, it is most on the nutrition food. And today in our agriculture system, the success agriculture plots is being only by the traditional methods. So no GKVK or extensions departments, the technologies which are being adopted by the farmers has been really failed. So and we are again going with the climate change. So example, like the rain should start by June, but now it is delaying by 2 months. So we are totally confused with the process, like a calendar process. But one who have understood the traditional process of doing agriculture method and coming with a multi-layer system is the one who is really getting success. So at any cost for the human being sustained for the long term, it's finally the food. And in this field, only the traditional practice is coming with the success. So really, when we see in this aspects, maybe today's education is really not required. And
So
agriculture is really not simple.
So Suprit,
It's really not
to
simple.
summarize your point, are you trying to say that in some fields the certification could be actually counterproductive? Is that what you are trying to say? Have I summarized your point?
Sorry.
Like you gave the example of agriculture. I'm saying, are you saying that in some fields like agriculture, the certification is actually not helping? It's the other way around.
Yes.
It's more practical experience that is really. Is that what you're trying to
Right,
say?
sir.
Okay.
Right, sir. Right.
Yeah, I had one point to make. Like, I feel one of the reasons why I feel the certificates, as we understand, as Sujay is, has explained very beautifully, is that it really limits a person to one domain, right? Like in my own experience, at one point, I was doing 4 domains, but if I go by the certification aspect, maybe I had certification in 2, but I didn't have certification in the other 2. So we are somewhere limiting ourselves to a single domain. And then the whole aspect of can I switch domains or not, those things kind of play with you. So that's one big limitation I see.
Hi.
Okay.
Audible? Hello. Sorry. Ruchika, you want to go?
No. I'm just questioning and add. I don't know to add or what, or just questioning to understand what Kirtika said about domain. So what you're trying to say here is, Kirtika, that if we go for a certification, maybe for a particular course or something, so there throughout the career or throughout the time we work in one domain, that if when we stick to the certificate, that doesn't give us an opportunity or a chance to try on new domains or different domains. That's what you're trying to say?
I'm talking more about the mindset itself, right? Now, I've
Uh-huh.
done my, I mean, I've got a degree certificate in this domain.
Yeah.
Just to think that I can do something else, it requires you to kind of shift your mindset and then, okay, take that leap and all this. So I'm saying it kind of uh, mm, plays with the very mindset is what I'm trying to convey.
Sometimes that fear also comes. Okay, do I really need to? Am I okay to change gears, or am I okay to go somewhere else? I don't have a certificate of that particular field. That's what I think you're saying.
Okay, just inviting everybody to participate with whatever are your points. You can use the chat, you can use voice. And just in case you just want to listen, that's also absolutely fine. Not that everybody has to make point. This is absolutely good. Yeah, please continue.
Is my voice audible?
Yes, Kushal, yeah.
I just wanted to talk about just to shift the perspectives on other than certification. Just I wanted to see things from students' perspective. I was just questioning myself on how many students are confident to prove their skills directly on the field, on whatever field they are into. If there are large number of students who can prove their skills without certifications and excel at the same job which are currently there. So why I got this question, just because I generally go and have chats in daily in near Mysore and Masalpuri. I used to have Masalpuri. There's a Masalpuri guy's son Bhuvan was there, and he asked me what course to take. So I asked him a question that you select a job and you say that this job you are confident to do, and I will go and talk to the person, a particular head of the organization or whoever it is, and get you the job. At least get you the chance to work there. So when I ask this question, I keep asking this question to many of the youths. They say no, I'm not confident. So actually, I was flipping the question, flipping the way we think about certification. I agree with Kritika on the mindset, especially. We think that if we get the certifications, we will get the job or we will be secure. So this sense of security is something which we need to question. Is something which I am into right now. So it's all about the confidence that even without certification you can do the job. To prove it to prove it to get a chance to prove is something which it may take time. It might take time, but it has its own value. And also one more point, sometimes certification indirectly acts as an escape route for not to work on the core skills of not to work on the core skills actually. Means there's no scope for directly proving on the field. Just for if you have got the certificate, so yes, you are already certified that you have the skill.
Kushal, the first point, can you summarize it in one line? I'm not sure I got the full point, so I don't want to summarize it. The confidence one. How do you put that down in one phrase? Yeah.
So if students are already confident, do we need certifications?
So in a way, are you saying that certification gives confidence to students?
No, not at all. So it's a false perception that certification will give confidence.
Okay.
So actually, in reality, the student is not confident, but use certification as to get the confidence. That's the motivation behind doing the certification. I'm questioning if students are ready to perform or prove their skills on the field. Any students or any of us, then the value for certification will go. So indirectly, we are only the reason for the system of certifications. It's not the other person, it's us.
Okay, I put both your points. Just see that if I've kind of correctly connected with
Yes,
your.
yes. Yeah, at least in simple words you summarize. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
One thing, is it confidence or security, Kushal? Like, are you saying
All
like,
security.
if
Yeah,
I,
security. Yes, correct.
I feel,
Security.
yeah.
Is it not
Correct,
so much
correct.
about confidence? Is what Kirtika is saying.
Correct,
Mm.
correct. It's actually security is a very better word. Yeah. It gives us
Okay.
a false security.
Okay. Yeah, next month we are doing a webinar on confidence also. We talk more at that time. I'll take up this example also.
Sir, I would like to add, if I'm audible, please confirm.
Yes, you're audible, Seema.
Sir, nowadays our education system has become so much engrossed in earning degrees or earning certificates, but we can see that skills are not there up to the mark.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we see the interviews of those people who are hiring our kind of our students or the entrepreneurs, then there's a lack of skill that is being seen. Although they have good certificates from colleges, from universities, and from other things, but they are lacking in soft skills, they are lacking in handling the pressure, and even to handle their own life. So, what kind of students we are producing? It is, I think, it's our fault. And as an education system or as an educator, we need to focus more on the development of skills, not just to earn degree, this or that. Because earlier it used to be like the degrees used to be a sign of accomplishment or a sign of, we can say, that the child is hardworking enough that he or she has earned that degree. But nowadays, this concept has been in vogue because every student out there can gain a degree or can gain a certificate by practicing properly or by any other means. So, how can we differentiate that this child is confident, but that child is able to do the work, or that child is uh, skilled enough to be hired in our job or in our company or anything else? So how can we judge despite of the certificate? Because we see 97, 98%
I
students
guess
are
that's the
getting
problem all
jobs.
interviewers face.
Exactly.
But
This
the
is my
left side,
point.
yeah, sorry, I'm seeing the left side is not does not have too many points. I think let's speak in favor also. Otherwise, it won't be a fair debate. Let's spice it
Okay.
up a
Put it in
little.
chat.
Sorry.
I put it in
Oh,
chat.
you put something in.
That's in
Okay.
favor.
Speaking in favor of certification, another point.
Yeah.
It really requires a lot of effort from the student to do it, whatever it is that they want to do. It puts a lot of pressure on the student. That is, they have to figure out a lots of things. They don't have a set path, which if they follow, they know that they will get some job or something like that. I mean, you can say that not everybody is getting a job or something who gets a degree, but it gives a sense of assurance to the students and the parents that if they follow, go to a college, get a certain degree in a certain field, then they can probably get a reasonable job and sort of have some sense of security. It may not be something that they really enjoy or want to do something, but it has a feeling that you can get some decent income. While in the other side, if they say they don't require certification, then they have to put a lot of effort, and it is uncertain how it will succeed. And if it doesn't go the way you plan, what's the backup option? So in that sense, it is an unknown. This is a well-tread path, while doing this no certification is not so well-tread path, for want of better words.
Set of skills.
Yeah, you need a lot. You need a full set of a much broader set of skills if you want to go without certification. I'm not saying that it is not possible or something like that, but for a lot of parents, they don't know how to develop that full broad range of skills that you would need. It's not a well-known path, so you don't know. So there is a great deal of uncertainty there. I mean, you can be street smart. You need to be like they were saying, you need to have a lot of soft skills to be good with people, to be able to sell yourself and what you have, what you know. While with a certificate, at least a lot of that job is already taken care of by having that certificate. I mean, whether it's true or not, that part of it is there.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to add to what Krishnan was saying, also when someone is pursuing something without a certificate and being confident that, okay, I do not need any certificate in my field and I am doing my portfolio, creating my portfolio in my own way, and I'm working hard on it. And suddenly, after, some time after really working hard on your portfolio, I'm doing everything about what you're doing, you suddenly get to know ki, okay, here you are stuck because you need a certificate for it. So
can you give an example, Preeti? In which industry would you suddenly get stuck? Meaning,
yeah, so recently that has happened. That's why I'm sharing this. Recently in sports, like my daughter, she goes for Malcolm, and there in few of the competitions, it is required that those competitions are through schools or universities. So there, she cannot participate in those competitions. So that way.
Okay, but that's not really that, meaning the way you put it, that's a little different example of what you are sharing, is that the system has created that as a way to funnel, and you may get stuck there because you don't have the certificate. Is that what you are saying?
I didn't get your point, Ratnesh.
Okay, then no, what I'm saying is that what you're saying is that because the system relies on certification as a filtering way of doing it, somebody who does not have a certificate may not be able to do XYZ, let's say. Just like how your daughter was not able to participate in a particular competition because that competition required a particular certificate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, but that's only a system that has created that filtering system. That, okay, only those with this will be only allowed kind of thing. Fair enough, fair enough. So
in favor of certification, it saves. So in favor of certifications, I'm speaking.
Yeah.
It saves time during hiring process. It gives some assurance that candidate is having some basic skills.
Yeah, sure. We put that as point number 2. I hope, meaning it may be in a different language.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, it does help.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, Ratnesh, I'm just going to use what you said earlier. For example, to become an architect, you need a certificate, but to become a builder, you don't need a certificate. So builders actually employ architects. So that's kind of other way around.
Yeah.
So
sure.
Yeah, that kind of makes me think of this. So there are two types of I'm trying to be broad. There are two types of jobs, like unorganized sector and organized sector. Like most of us are not working in unorganized sector. We are all into organized sector. The organized sector that we are working in had jobs which are mostly based on certain level of education. Now that okay, I don't know, I'm lost actually. I'm sorry. I
Uh,
don't know where I
Vijay,
You
wanted.
have a point. You have a point. Just that it's
yeah.
changing.
So that,
The organized
yeah,
sector
Yeah,
I was
20
coming
years
to
back
that.
was different, but
Hmm.
the same organized sector is loving to be unorganized. Is taking up people, startups, and a lot of different organizations are very open to people. So that scenario is changing. Somewhere we had that point somebody had shared. So
That
yeah.
flexibility has come.
Also the change is happening because what Seema said, that the degrees or certification is giving some knowledge, but they're not giving the soft skill. So now even in many organization, whether it's a corporate or any such of organization, they are also understanding that when we go back, there are loopholes. There are so many things which are basically not covered, which are very much required when a candidate comes or a child comes on the field. So definitely they have used the method of keeping certificate in mind to filter the process or make the process easier. But when it came to the reality, they understood this is not the right way. So they are going back and, back and then trying to see what can be done in a different manner, taking the candidates even without the certificate. So they have done definitely to make the process easier, but then they have also realized that things are not working the way they want them to work, because so many things are missing in practical way.
Sure. So
I
Jyoti
think
has
that
sorry.
same sense.
Just one moment. I'm just pointing out Jyoti has put in a point that it validates your skill, enhances your professional credibility and career advancement. And Sakila is saying that it can add value to your portfolio or profile. It's just kind of just putting up those points since they came in chat. Yeah, please continue.
In response to Ruchika's point, they would still need to know how you deal with soft skills. And there is, they don't, I'm not sure exactly how you sort of prove that you have the soft skills. I mean, it's just going to be one interview or something like that in which you get hired or not. But that's just for the soft skills. So the whatever the competences they're expecting from the degree, that would still stay. Just because you do not have a certification does not necessarily mean that you can prove that you have the soft skills. I mean, I'm not sure. Am I missing something?
Yeah, so see the soft skill part, the certification also does not provide any proof or nor the knowledge certificate. That possibly you have to talk about how you have done different things and how you have achieved. So I think that's more individual driven, I guess, in both the cases, right? And also just to kind of bring in, when you say certification important because it validates your skill and enhances your professional credibility. Well, one can add there that certification as well as the work that you have done also validates your skill, enhances your professional capability. So in that sense, whatever the certificate does, the work that you have done can also do all of that. So it applies to both the sides. You can in on the left hand side, you will say my certificate proves that I have the skills, professional credibility, and my portfolio. The other side, you can say the work that I have done. Because at the end of the day, nobody is not certified. Some are others certified, some are work certified or self-certified. So in that sense, nobody is uncertified, if I may put it. So I'm just saying that I'm not putting it there, but this just changed the word to from certification to work, and kind of it goes on both the sides.
So actually, in my opinion, sorry, can I proceed?
Please.
Yes. In my opinion, certification is not just a single process. It is the process which has several categories. For example, the authority who is giving the certification, how he is getting the authority, that plays a major role. For example, I'm doing some task, I'm getting certificate from a particular authority. if that authority is not authentic or genuine, or it is not fulfilling the actual process of certification, then issuing or getting certificate from such an authority is not going to play a significant role in terms of the career of the particular candidate. So we have to say how the candidate is learning, how the process of learning is evaluated, and how the certifying authority is evaluated. So both plays an important role. So anybody can issue a certificate, but who is receiving a certificate is very, very important. So I think a periodic checkpoint is necessary for the authority who are receiving the certificate. It's not like if I get an license for issuing as authority, I can be issuing the certificate for large duration of time. It should be periodically evaluated how they are retaining the same quality, or they are having any dispute. In that sense, we have to make a note of it.
I would like to add a point to what Kristika mentioned previously about the mindset. So somewhere I even had certain conversations with parents previously. Somewhere are we still associating degrees and certifications or the time that we are taking to the amount of information that will be taught or consumed? So many parents they told if you are going to go for an engineering degree for 4 years, maybe you're going to learn so much of stuff, information about engineering, so whichever major you're going to opt for. So maybe are we still stuck in that mindset of maybe even with apprenticeship we can take the time of 3 years to learn entrepreneurship through practical skills, but still somewhere are we stuck in that mindset having a 3-year degree or having a 4-year 2-year degree would actually equate to the amount of information that will be taught or consumed by the student.
I want to add to that. My experience with many of the youth who have not gone for certification, rather doing the work, is that the amount that they learn in a small period of time is absolutely huge, because they are actually doing work with the industry. So when they are doing work with the industry, then the time efficiency is super high. So what will take you 3 years of, let's say, degree, or 4 years of degree, here you are learning that much in 6 to 8 to 1 year time. And that too, you are learning exactly what the industry needs. And that too, you're learning it from the experts who are doing the work, in the field.
Exactly.
So that's something very, very powerful in terms of the whole efficiency of what and how, and what and how, and the context in which it is learned. Absolutely.
Exactly.
That's a very, very strong point, which I have experienced to the extent that recently one of the he did some courses here, there for a couple of months, read on his own, and then he went for an internship, and he comes back and says, in one day I learned more than what I learned in 2 months. So that's the power of an internship, actually working and doing. And that too, when he has been taken as an intern without having any certification, without having anything. The people giving him internship did not look that you have certification. They were more, are you ready to do the work? Okay, come along.
Exactly. But even I had the same experience with a conversation with a parent. Actually, the student, he wants to go for CS background, but he actually wanting to opt for a practical apprenticeship kind of work. So he wants to learn by himself, learn coding by himself. But the parent, what they are thinking is, better you go for a degree, you do a 3-year or a 2-year degree for something in computer science, and then you can opt for any practical, you can join any company and you can go for all the things. But what he is actually saying, the same point that you mentioned, like I can actually gain the same amount of experience with much efficiency and skills in what I'm going to what I'm wanting to do. Yeah.
And to add to that, on the way, they also learn all the nuances, like the soft skills that we're talking about, which while actually going only for certificate, you really don't get. When you're really working on the field, then you get to know the real world.
Yeah. I think somebody has raised hand. Please just jump in the conversation. Please don't raise hand. Just jump in.
Yeah. Somebody called my name. Yeah.
I wanted to go back to Ruchika's point. So Ruchika, what you mentioned regarding industry, like when you said they, I think you are referring to industry changing the pattern, and also what Ratnesh mentioned, like like what the age we were and the current age that is there. To that effect, I just want to ask this question. Now, the disappointment by the industry with respect to people who are certified and not able to do the jobs for which they are certified is having enough data, because we have that much pool of people available to make that kind of conclusion. But we don't have the data on the other way around. When we are hiring people who are not certified, right? Then whether they will be equal to or greater than or worse than the current scenario, we do not know as of now.
Okay, I don't know how to answer this, but yes, I also don't have a data or fact, but definitely I have few examples to give from my own personal experiences. Like my husband works in a corporate world, and he keeps sharing, because since we are open learning family, so we are also trying to figure out and understand these things. So we keep discussing and we keep sharing this, that how he comes across the MBA degree holders coming for interviews to his place, and he interviews them with holding the degrees, whether they are toppers in their engineering or whether they are toppers in their MBA colleges or something. When it just simple comes to talk about a practical, maybe a problem given in an interview where they have to solve it, which doesn't have any technical background knowledge required, but a simple common sense required to solve that, a practical understanding of it. So sometime, then this also gives, so their company is now completely opening up to that, to hire people who doesn't have any degrees or any certificates with them, who have experience of working in a practical way, because they want to work and they have created their own portfolios and their own soft skills to work in that field. So this is one, I would say. I don't have a very fact to give you that this n number of people, but there are examples in my personal life also. I have
Sure,
worked in
Ruchika,
MBA.
just one minute. So what we are saying, what he's asking is there data? And my answer is yes. Data is there if you want to look at it. Even in
Yeah,
this,
so Ratnesh has,
even in this group of 27 people, I don't know how many of you are working in a field in which you are not certified. and just look around, just catch 1,000 people from your friends and relatives and check how many people of those 1,000 are working in a field which they were not certified for, right? And you would realize that the number is huge, and then you can do your own analysis of whether they are successful, not successful, however successful, and so on and so forth. So the data is very
Ratnesh,
much there.
Ratnesh.
It may not be.
Yeah, I agree.
And
Agree. Sorry for interruption. So what
just 1 minute. Either ways, it's a qualitative data, right? If whether an organization has interviewed certified people or have uncertified people, and it's only not about organization. We are not talking about only jobs. We're talking about life, and life has many different options. Freelancing is one option, entrepreneurship is one option, jobs is one option. So these are all options, and possibly as much as large as organized sector, as much as unorganized sector is equally large, because that line itself is blurring. All I'm trying to say is that the data is there. It is for us to see that data and compile if we want to compile that data. Yeah, sorry, my point made.
Okay, sorry. I understood. Understood. And I think our discussion, I think I was limiting our discussion only to the jobs because somehow we were talking about that. But just coming back to the point about what you mentioned, that people working in a field for which they are not certified, I don't have to look any further because I am one of those guys. I did one degree and and I'm basically doing a job and I'm doing it really well. So I am myself a data on that aspect. I agree, totally agree, because I mean because I am the example. But I at least I have some sort of an entry degree. What we are discussing here is that, or at least I have some sort of entry certificate. What we are discussing is a totally different field where there will not be any certification whatsoever.
But how does that matter?
Yeah.
Just because I can drive a car doesn't mean that I can drive let's say a boat. Okay, so let's not get into that. Just because you have a degree does not certify per se for you to do whatever you are doing. The degree was for a particular field, right? And which
then,
only...
like, we are female.
we are female, we may be doing a lot of other things, but we are non-certified cook for our family.
That's the point.
We have
Okay,
become an
correct.
expert
I
in
agree, Ratnesh. Yeah, I agree with all of you. So if that is the case, then we should not even ask for certification as a process for the first interview, because technically speaking, for the first interview, nobody will have any practical experience and certification don't have value, right?
Again, point. No, not right. So the trend is changing. Now there's no concept of first interview. The concept is changing to internships. People go into internships, work in that organization, organization sees an individual, and organization gives an offer letter if they like it. Right. So the trend is
that
changing.
company
Internship is the big thing, right? And you know why is
yeah,
it a big thing? Because I would rather see the guy working and see all the soft, hard, liquid, whatever skills I want to see, rather than worry about an interview.
But that's
the
still in a
company is
very
putting
small
the
percentage of companies, isn't it?
It's
No,
changing.
it's
I
actually
only am
not.
using the word
It's
changing.
yeah, so it's changing. As what Ratnesh said, yes, there is a data, there are figures, and it's not that there are 10 industries or there are 10,000 industries. I would say at least there is a change. There is a change, as what Kirtika said. There is a change in the mindset. Why are we also looking at, entry point certificate as an entry point? So this is again a mindset and that insecurity what we have. Oh, if I will not have a certificate, I will not get enter. No, why? Why not? There are options. There are ways. There are, you can create your own profiles. You can create your own portfolios to enter in such a thing. You can open doors for your own self in their your own area of interest or whatever you are exploring or want to explore in that way.
Yeah, and
You
and a
also,
means
lot of
also
child
just
and
to
companies
add,
area.
sorry,
are coming out of the obsession of the certificate.
yeah, little more adding on the internship. Now almost all colleges are adding internship, almost all, from all kinds of industries. So it's not like, okay, in some small industry internship is increasing. Now internship is the thing. Literally so many colleges, if I relate it to my time in college, we had some summer project kind of thing, but that's changing now. Nobody calls it a summer project. People are paying non-certified individual to do their first internship. That's the amount of I think value people give to somebody doing work for them rather than them through the recruiting process. So it is big time changing. It's not even a small change, it's a big time change.
See, but there again, they are taking people who are going for the certification. Are they taking people right
Yeah,
out
that's
of
what I'm
school
giving you an
or
example.
without school?
Either way, see, it depends on who approaches. See, anyway, whatever, 9.99999% of people will still be certified, right? So it is not like
Yes.
they are only open to certified people, right?
I have one
People are
point to
open
make
to
here.
all kinds of people for internship. Yeah, sorry, Seema.
Sir, I want to make a point that when we search on YouTube, a lot of teachers there who are teaching, they are not certified. And actually, teachers I'm also a teacher in Delhi government, but I am not putting any video, any kind of material sort of on social media. Yeah, I'm making them available for my own students for a limited platform. But those people are getting much popularity because they are into that kind of studios. They are making their videos so powerfully presentative, and a lot of other skills they have learned. We may have good teaching skills, but they have better presentation skills. So we ourselves refer to their videos a lot of time, that how this PPT, how we can use this, and how we can multiply our own skills
Yeah.
by
What I'm
watching.
getting from you is, sorry, I'm in view of the time, it's already 6 o'clock. What I'm getting from you is that in today's world, it's not so difficult to present yourself. You have all kinds of digital media available to you. Meaning, I can't imagine 20 years back, a singer can show to the world, I'm good at singing. But today you don't need anything. You can make 50 YouTube videos and people will notice that you are good at singing. So things are changing. The amount of avenues you have to present yourself itself is amazing. Yeah. So yeah. So
Also,
yeah, we will have
one
to
last
somewhere
thing, Ratnesh,
conclude.
please.
Okay, last point.
Shift, let's
And
shift from
yeah.
job seeker to job provider.
Absolutely. Okay, go ahead. Last point about being a job provider. Absolutely. Go ahead, Preeti. Make the point.
बस यही था,
No,
जॉब
no,
सीकर
just
से
say
जॉब
a little.
प्रोवाइडर बन जाओ.
Just say a little more. Just say a little more.
Yeah. So so whatever skill you are, and job provider can be provider in the sense ki be an entrepreneur and be good at what you want to do, and in what you want to do, you can explore to any extent. Like Ratnesh was saying, 20 years ago we couldn't imagine that anybody can express so easily and show to the world that you are good at something. So today, when there are so many opportunities, so just use all of those platforms and just go all out instead of really, depending on some structure.
Somewhere also the certification give a sense of dependency that, okay, something or somebody is certifying me, while work certified or self-certified gives a sense of
Validation from others.
validation from others, while when we are self-certified or work certified, in fact, we are not even thinking who is certifying us, because we know what we are doing is of a certain quality. And if I'm not doing of a certain quality, I'm anyway not going to get either business or job or whatever or clients, whatever I'm looking at. Yeah, so that's a very, very interesting point. And with this whole environment of every startup, whether it's a chai wala startup or it's a high-tech startup, every startup being valued itself says so much more. Or it's an NGO kind of startup, everything is valued in today's world. I think that's a big one. It's a big one for our youth to at least know that they can do this option.
I have not got the opportunity to talk at all. So,
yes, Shushma, but at 6 o'clock, we promised to stop at 6 because this is like a ongoing thing.
Yes.
Right? So we will pause here as promised. And I'm not saying this debate is complete. This is just 1 hour of debate, which we'll come back if there is more demand. We also have the group to make. We have the open learning group to make. I've also launched a small poll. Please do that. I'll also share the link of the group if you are not part of the group. But we still have kept half an hour more for people who are looking at specific question. Yeah, so Jay is saying part 2 of the debate, part 2, part 3, part 4. Yes, absolutely. We'll have as many debates as we want. Absolutely required. There's so much more to explore. We thought we will just start today. So yeah, let's spend. We have now only about 25 minutes to. If there are more specific questions to open learning, unschooling, homeschooling, or CoVersity, which is the professional journey without certificates, if there are questions about those, or specific questions about Aarohi, because this Saturday meetup is also a window for people to ask questions, or if